Oh, good evening. I think we're live. I hope we're live. Blimey, that was hard work. Better late than never. Sorry about the delay. I know I'm usually live before, much before this. That was unexpected. Plagued by technical issues tonight. Absolutely plagued. Still, we're here now. That's the main thing. I hope you're all good. I hope you're all good. Right, let's... Hey, Smokey! How you doing? How are you doing? Absolute nightmare tonight. Smokey's here, Indy's here. Obviously the notifications are working, that's good. Sorry for the lateness tonight. Very sorry for the lateness. I got stuck on the checking for update screen and it just would not let me past. I don't know what happened. On like the 5th or 6th attempt it came up and actually wanted to do an update. I did the update and it let me through. But yeah, I've been here for like the last hour. Just found it randomly. Huh. It literally gone live 2 seconds ago. Oh, that's handy. But yeah, we're here now. That's the most important thing. That we're live now. Right. For those of you that didn't read the title or the thumbnail, we're going to San Jose in California, and we're currently in Salt Lake City in Utah. Look at those hills. And we're in the A330 today, so we're doing a little bit differently today. Let me just top up with fuel, because I'm not sure if I did that. Did I do that? Yeah, I already have. Never mind. Yeah, it's a free A330. It's the headwind version, so it's essentially a fork of the A32NX from Fly-by-Wire that's a few versions old. And then they took that and sort of modelled an A330. I'm just in the plain white livery because I haven't done my own yet. I kind of like just the plainness of it. It looks really cool. I'm a bit of a minimalist though, so... yeah, I'm going to try and do a paint job of my own. Have to go eat, no worries, see you later. So we've got the plan. Let's have a look at our flight plan before we get gone, as it were. So this is us. Weirdly, I would expect the plane to, or the track to come out of the end of the runway we're going to leave and then sort of come around, but whatever. Maybe it's an older version that hasn't sorted that. Anyway, so we're going to head off to the west, where we need to be at 12,000 feet by DEZRT. That waypoint there. Then we need to be at 14, 15. And then we're good. Then we can make our climb up to 40,000 today. We basically go across to San Jose. Now hopefully we can just clear this and it will join up nicely. Go on. Yes. Brilliant. Then we come in on runway 30 left into San Jose. And that should all be fine and dandy. So given that we're late, I vote we get going. Got 12,000 in the window. Altimeter set to local. Let's get flying. That is after all why we're here. So I'm anticipating we're going to take off and then bank around to the right and catch this. Right. Everyone ready? Of course you are. Let's go. Turn up a tad. There we go. Very lumpy, bumpy runway. Using every last bit of it as well. There we go. Let's go. Positive rate. gear up. Let's see if the plane can manage this. It's quite the turn, isn't it? Quite the turn indeed. There's our shadow. Go, so the plane should start to level. $8,000 feet already, we're doing good. Can I make it rain? Yeah, I probably could make it rain, actually. You raise a very good point, actually. I don't know what the weather's set to. I don't know if it's live or what, actually. Hey, no worries, Smokey. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping in. Let's have a look. Oh, so we've actually got live weather on at the moment. Real-time live weather. So this is allegedly what it's doing in Salt Lake City. Alright. So we're 15 miles away from our first waypoint where we must be. We must be at 12,000 or above. Then the following waypoint, 14 or above. And then the final waypoint, we have to be at 15. Not above, not below. I'm going to go and pop 15 in because we are technically allowed to do that. That's a big lake. we doing? 4 miles from the first waypoint, where we have an altitude restriction of 12,000. Where we must be above 12,000. Following 7 miles to Bonnie, where we need to be above 14. And then Desert, which represents the end of the main part of our SID out of Salt Lake City. Must be at 15. Not above, not below, at 15. Them are the rules. Europe. Finally, we made it. How you doing? You okay? Nice. 10 miles to go. I just got the 737 Max. And the 777-300. Is the 777, is that the Captain Sim? Is it that one? That's Emirates. So did you pay for it, or was it a freebie? Okay, cool. Did you get that from the marketplace, or? Or did you have to sort of kind of like go elsewhere to a separate website to buy it? I didn't realise you could get the 737 Max. I bought the PMDG 737-800. That's like 60 quid, which was a lot of money. But it is very, very interesting. Here we go. This is the end of our SID. Can't believe we're at 40,000 today. It's quite high. I hope you have a lot of fun with that. That should be, yeah, it's always fun learning a new aircraft. I feel like I'm massively still in learning mode with the 737 I bought. And I'm not streaming it as much as I should be. I should be doing loads more, really. But it's that kind of thing where it's like, well, there's absolutely no question that I'm really rubbish in it compared to the Airbus. So there's always that, well, should I just use the Airbus kind of thing? And it's like, if I decide I'm going to do the Boeing for a stream, it's kind of a lot more stressful, and I'm just like, oh, do I really want to do that? Yeah, £16 is a much nicer deal. And the PMDG one is awesome. I mean, they claim it's study level, as in like really study level. Inclined to agree with them, based on the amount of alarms that go off every time I try to do anything. Probably just doing it all wrong. Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? Any which way you slice it, 60 quid for a plane is a lot. I kind of justified it being like, well, you know, it might make the stream better, and yeah. Yeah, I think if it is a package, it'd be a good deal. But like you say, you have to buy every single one separately, so it ends up being quite a lot. That's why I held off for the 737-800. Because whenever I think of a 737, immediately I think of the 737-800. That's like the default 737, in my opinion. Yeah, if you've ever been away on holiday on one, you've probably been on the 800. So I kind of thought, if I'm going to be spending 60 quid on it, you know, might as well get the one you actually want rather than the 700 variant, which was similar money. They did the 600 variant, I think, at $35, so that would have probably come out, I don't know, high 20s when it gets converted to pounds. Logan Air 145 from Newcastle to Exeter. Exeter is a cool airport. It's basically like a bus station. But I went through it once, it's like, I got there was 2 security gates for the whole airport. No one using them. I just rocked up. There was some very bored looking security officer. It's almost like I was their first customer of the day. Probably their only customer. Yeah, very chilled airport. Yeah, they really do. Like, there's all that trouble with Flybe, wasn't there? Because Flybe used to fly out there quite a lot. Be amazing for the Southwest though. Like you say, if you had Ryanair, EasyJet, but then I suppose Bristol kind of does that, I suppose. Like, any which way you slice it, if you're travelling to go on holiday or on a big trip on a plane, it's an all-day thing, more or less, isn't it? So what's another hour or 2 up the road to Bristol, I suppose. Hey Kalo, how you doing? Sorry, I didn't see you there in the chat. Yeah, occasionally used to fly the it's the Flybe. What's the name of the plane? Oh, it's the one with like the propellers. I'm completely blanking on what it is. What was it? They weren't propellers. They were turbofans. Yeah, Q800. That's it. Thank you. Yeah. Always felt like you got a really kind of cool takeoff in those, like you really felt the speed. And the acceleration seemed great as well. you compare and contrast it to these big jets where yeah, these big jets, they feel quite almost graceful by comparison. I remember taking off in real life in a 747 and it was just like not what I was expecting. It's just so like slow and gentle. Obviously you were going fast because the thing has to get off the ground, but it didn't feel it. And the acceleration curve wasn't, it was all very gradual, very, you know. Yeah, you're 100% right. 100%. Hey, hello, Foot. How you doing? Yeah, we're in the A330. Fancied a change tonight, and I wasn't daring enough to try the 737 again. How long's the flight? Probably another hour or so, I would estimate. Yeah, not bad, thanks, Foot. I'm doing good. Doing good. Can't complain. Had a bit of trouble getting live tonight. Technical issues. By the way, if you're in the chat and you haven't hit the like button yet, that would really help me out. Please and thank you. Yeah, Salt Lake City is an amazing place. I'd love to go there someday. Likes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Honestly, I can't emphasize enough how much it helps. What do likes do? Likes basically say to YouTube that this stream is worth watching. Not to put it too bluntly, but if YouTube sees people liking this, it might then recommend it to others. Yeah, I don't mean just for me, but if you're ever on YouTube and you like what you see, just chuck the creator a like, because it will help them more than I think you probably could imagine. Yeah, you got it, Europe. You got it.
the captain speaking. We've just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As we begin to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your feet and elbows clear from the aisle.
I didn't know it'd do that.
We'll be coming through the cabin with galley cards shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating with the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
No worries, Europe. Look after yourself, mate. Take it easy. Right, so we've hit 40,000. Need to be at 21 by RAZRR. That was RAZRR, that was, wasn't it? Oof. Well, they're both the same, so 330 miles. What are we at? 40,000. What do we need to be at? I've forgotten already. Is it 21? 21. Okay. Oops, wrong button. Right, so we need about 80 miles. Tell you what it's time for. Screen. 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 So we're about 240-ish miles away from top of descent. You can get the A319. Where are you getting these from? You're getting them from the marketplace. Yeah, I can't imagine there's much difference. Are you on PC foot or are you Xbox? PC, okay. Yeah, I can't imagine there's much difference. Are you using the fly-by-wire A330-900neo? Yeah, cool. Yeah, maybe look at... Have you got the A330 as well? The one I'm in now? The headwind one? Because that is basically the A320neo, but in a 330 skin. Yeah, you should maybe get the A330. It does feel a lot different. Handles differently. The A330, yeah, is for free. I think what they did, they took a version of the A321X that dates back a little bit now, but they took that and then turned it into the A330. So the cockpit is basically the same, it's just the aspects of, like, you know, everything looks a bit bigger because it's a wide body aircraft, but for all intents and purposes it flies roughly the same. So if you can fly one, you can fly the other. Get some weird texture popping on those mountain tops there. Oh, you like the 777? Yeah, I have the Captain Sim one. It's basically the 747, but skinned as a 777. So if you're happy with the 747 that comes with the game, you probably would like the Captain Sim. So in terms of all the functionality that's in the cockpit, that's what you'll get, really. Not to say that the Captain Sim one is bad. It's just like it's not like PMDG. Hey, you back, Indy? If I were you, I would stress less about what aircraft you're in and just enjoy the flying. And the PMDGs are a lot of money, so I'm not sure, hand on heart, I can recommend you get that. Because that is a lot of money. There's no two ways about it. Spending like £60 on one plane. Like, you spend that on an entire game, never mind an item in a game. Yeah, well, stick with the fly-by-wire. I mean, that is a fantastic aircraft, and the fact we get it for free is astonishing. And this A330 by Headwind, it's basically the same, albeit a A330. And then maybe just sit tight for the A380 from fly-by-wire. That might be your best bet. The A350? Who's making that? I didn't realise that was in development. A350 by fly-by-wire. Are they? I know there's an A310 that's going to come with the game at some point. I think Microsoft did a deal with somebody, not fly-by-wire, but another studio. That's almost like a short, wide-body aircraft, right? The A310. So wide body, not dissimilar to the A330, but quite short, I think. Realised fly-by-wire had all that in the works. I just thought they were doing the A380 and that was it. I mean, given... Yeah, you're not wrong. I just figured, given how long it's taken fly-by-wire to do the A380, that anything else would be way off. Like, way off into the distance. A380 this month? What? I am out of touch. Like, what's going on here? I should know this stuff. Where'd you hear that? If so, that is very cool, because I want to get into long haul stuff, and I was thinking maybe by the end of this month I could find a way to do it. That is very cool if that's true, because that is going to be my default long haul airliner for sure, like 100%. Twitter, nice, okay. Hey, thanks everyone who's liked the stream, by the way. Appreciate it. I can see we're up to 4 likes now. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you. A 747 for long haul, that's fair. Something about the A380. I mean, I know the 747's got that legacy, hasn't it, that it goes back so far. Like the design of it, it's almost iconic at this point, but there is something very cool about the A380. Just astonishing that that thing gets out into the air. The Irish captains too. How you doing? What do I prefer, Boeing 737 MAX or A320neo? For me personally, to fly it myself on here, I would take A320 all day long, only because I'm more comfortable in it. But as for like, what do I prefer in real life? Don't know. I mean, probably not the Max, given its reputation. I mean, I know they claim to have fixed it, but it's not a good look for it still, is it? I'd probably go 320 Neo in real life as well. Oh, I don't know, Foot. It depends on your financial situation. There's a lot of good free alternatives out there, I'll say that much. And keep in mind, you're basically paying for a 3D model of a 777. That's what you're paying for, really. The systems, the cockpit, everything else is basically the same, albeit recoloured. Now, if PMDG had released the 777, I would be like, ooh, maybe I should get that. Hey Kamal, how you doing? You say go for 777. I mean, I can understand if you really love the aircraft, if it is your, you know, if it's like your favourite plane. Yeah, I've got a soft spot for the A330, mostly because it was the first aircraft I did a long haul to America on. Went to New York from Heathrow on it, and back. I think for that reason alone, given that going to New York had been an ambition I'd held for years, all the way through my teens when I had basically no money to do it, and finally got over there. It was an amazing time. So I think just for that reason alone, the A330 is always going to be top of the list, or near the top. So we're at 220 miles away from the waypoint RAZRR. And it is at that waypoint we need to be at 21,000 feet. Now we're at 40,000 currently, so that's 19,000 to drop, and we need about 80 miles to do it. A little bit less according to the computer. I think they said like 73 or 6. I'm going to give us a comfortable 80. We're about 140 miles away from top of descent. Europe's back. Look out. What's going on, Europe? You okay? can I rate if on stream? I don't know how I would see it. Unless, of course, you could put it on YouTube. No, this plane probably wouldn't be used for a flight like this. I just fancied a change tonight, really. Been in the A320 quite a lot. It's been a while since I've flown this A330. No, I think the point was this is quite a short flight, really. This is under 2 hours, so yeah, I agree. It could easily fly this far. I think the point was it probably wouldn't be used to fly this far. You'd probably use like an A320 or a 737 instead. No, I'm not a real pilot. Would I like to be one? That's a good question. I'm not sure actually how I would cope with being a long-haul pilot. Like, I know you'd be flying a massive aircraft and I know it would be very cool, but you would think it would get really boring, like in the cruise. I could imagine flying sort of short-haul stuff around Europe. That could be quite cool. You know, 2 or 3 hours and you're down. You sort of got the climb and the cruise and the descent. It's like you'd be doing lots of those per day, I would imagine. Yeah, no worries, Europe. I'll have a look. I'll leave you a little comment. Sure, it's not that bad. Yeah, short haul. I think short haul could be interesting. I'm guessing it would take a lot of money to be a pilot. Oh yeah, you literally just said it. You have to spend a lot of money for it, though. Yeah, that'd be the barrier for me for sure. Yeah, it's not cheap, is it? Even to do like a private license to be able to fly like Cessnas and things like that. Still talking a lot of money. Yeah, that's right. Europe for like you know, to be an EasyJet, Ryanair pilot, that sort of thing. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. I work IT in real life. I work in IT Europe, IT tech. What's my favourite plane ever? Oh, that's a hard question. Probably 747. If I had to give one answer. Just because of its kind of legacy and the impact it made on aviation. It was quite an important aircraft. Concorde or 747? Ooh. Still am a bit of a sucker for a 747. How long left of flying? So, top of the screen it says ETE. That stands for estimated time en route. It says 24 minutes, but it's not going to be 24 minutes because that's not factoring in us slowing down for the descent. But it's trying to work. It's trying to factor it. You know, if we go at this speed, until we get to the airport, it'll take 24 minutes. I think it's basically what that's trying to predict. I would say about half hour or so, maybe a little longer. Not long till top of descent though, not long at all. As we come through to the cockpit and have a look. At our current speed, we're at 40,000 feet, we need to go to 21,000 and we'll do it at 2,000 feet a minute. It will take 76 nautical miles. And if I show you down here, got this waypoint RAZRR, which is where we need to be at 21,000. We're 124 miles away. $69.99 in dollars. Is that £70 now? Because of the exchange rate. That is that's a big old chunk of cash, isn't it? It's crazy how the dollar and the pound have changed. I remember like when Apple would bring out a new MacBook Pro back in the day when Steve Jobs would be on stage. He'd be like, and the new MacBook Pro is $22.99. And I would think, wow, that's a lot of money. But then of course by the time it got converted into pounds, it'd be like, I don't know, $17.99, which, don't misunderstand, that's still a lot of money, but it's nowhere near as bad as $22.99. And then the differences started becoming less and less and less, and then Apple got to the point where they would just change the dollar sign for a pound sign and keep the number exactly the same. And now in some cases, like with the iPhones, it's even more in pounds than it is dollars. Which is very sad. Nice one, Foot. Yeah, his channel's very cool. I like Sam's channel a lot. Alrighty, it's time to do some destination data. RAZRR4. Temperature on the ground in San Jose is 18. Where it was. 22 now. No wind. I don't believe that. Right, 0 and 0 it is. $75, 76 miles we need to descend. We're at 83. I'm just going to go ahead and start that now because it's not going to take long.
From the flight deck, ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated till the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
Yeah, that was me, Indy. Did you like it? That was my best pilot's voice impression. Alright, just past 37,000. Making our way down to 21 initially. It wouldn't be a normal stream without the bots turning up in the chat, would it? Alright, we're getting there now. 34,000. Just check we got everything in order. RadNav, so we got the ILS frequency tuned. 135 miles from our destination. So we're going to 21. Which, to be fair, we could go as low as 20. Which might be worth doing that. So it split the difference. Higher than 20, lower than 22. Then what's next? 17.5. Again, split the difference. And 12, 10 and 14. That's quite wide. Then 8 and 10, so 9. 6, 4. Bit above 3,200. You're watching. Glad to hear it. You're not hoping for a dodgy landing secretly, are you? Because you may get one. You may just get one. I'm sure your landing was fine. It looks like the plane is actually wanting to get down to 290 knots, but it can't because we've got a little bit of a tailwind going on with our descent. See if a bit of speed brakes helps. Yeah, that's doing the trick. if I put them down, immediately we start climbing back up to where we don't want to be. Let's have them back on then. 23,000, almost there. 16 miles to go. I foresee no issues. It'll be a perfect landing. I never make mistakes. Okay, so we go down to 16 for the next one. Yeah, we may need to make use of the speed brakes quite heavily, given that we've got tailwind. You're not wrong, everyone does make mistakes. You're not wrong at all. Alright, let's get ourselves down to 16. Now we're past that initial waypoint. We'll start getting ourselves ready to go to 250 knots. Because if you look at this next waypoint, we can go above 10,000. So I think 10,000 is sensible for that waypoint. We're still a way off that yet. Still a few minutes out. Nice. Almost there. Another mile and we can be clear of this one and move on to the next waypoint where below 14 and above 10. So I think we're going to go for 10. I'd rather stay ahead of the aircraft where possible. We also want to try and get our speed down to 250 because that's going to be a speed limitation on us when we get to 10,000. Yeah, so for the next waypoint we got 250 knots. So better to get that sorted out around here. Then as we get through to the next few waypoints, life will be a lot easier. "56 miles out from the airport. Really not far now. So just coming up on 14,000 feet, which means we've satisfied one of the constraints on that, which is 14,000 feet. We need to be below 14, so everything's good in that sense. No, I'm not sure we're going to make it down to 10,000. We can but go below 14 and above 10, so we'll be fine. RAZRR4 on the altimeter. Bringing us quite close to the tops of these hills. I'm surprised. Thought we'd avoid that. Alright, we need to be at 230 by the next waypoint. It was 3004, wasn't it? Yes, it was. That's a nice view out there. Right, lights. Go speed brakes medium. Drop our speed to 230. So we'll stick at 8,000 for a moment. That's a great view. Look at that. Alright, let's engage our approach phase. Get our first stage of flaps out. Oh, looks quite foggy down there. This could be interesting. I like a bit of fog. Alright. Just head on down to 5,000 feet. Just landed in 30 knots of wind. Good job, Foot. That's not easy. How was it? One go around. Hey, that's not bad. Not in a 30 knot wind. Can't grumble at that. Yeah, I don't doubt it was hard. Don't doubt that for a moment. Oh, good job. Well done. Let's get our flaps fully extended. Appreciate it, Europe. Or should I say? I should say Ryan now, shouldn't I? Always find it weird landing this one. Get my excuses in now. Yeah, so remarkably different to the 320, just the feel of it. Alright, let's go down to 4,000. Then beyond that, we're dealing in very, very small amounts. 3.6, 3.2. I'm not sure this counts as intense music, does it? This is actually quite chill. Here we go. Alright, feet on rudder pedals. Don't have a visual yet, do we? Right, once it's at 3,200 for the next waypoint, then I think... Whoops. Still got a button clicked in there. Started moving the mouse. See if the plane can... Not sure what kind of state approach mode was in. I've been on lots of Ryanair flights, Crusader, and they've all been fine. Yeah. I think Ryanair now has almost become like Nickelback. Remember how like everyone hated on Nickelback? Even if they'd never heard of them. By default they didn't like them. It's almost like Ryanair have become the same with airlines. Yeah, they only have 737s and they are fairly tricky aircraft.
2,500.
Gear down, let's go. Right, lights are on. Auto brakes medium. Speed brakes on, flaps full. Let's see if we can land, shall we? Got a 4 knot crosswind, nothing much, but... Just got a visual on the runway now. Still very foggy, isn't it? Right. Got a fairly good visual on the runway. I'll take it from here.
1000.
Very, 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 very tiny movements. Teeny tiny movements. We do not want to overcook this.
$500. 400.
Ah, so this is deceptive. Look where the touchdown marker is.
100
It's
above.
quite a way up.
100 above.
Quite a way out.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Down. Ooh. That was weird. That almost felt like when it said 10, it was like 10 was the ground. That wasn't bad. Although the Pappy seemed to think I was low all the way in, which I suppose perhaps I was. You want to see the replay? Get sub to the channel. The replay will go live on the channel in the form of a short and potentially a longer form video where I make a bit of a montage of it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start making montages of like the approaches, because I record them all. I record all the flight data so I can reload them at a later date. Sort of get some different angles. Maybe like the last 60 seconds or so, or last couple of minutes of the descent. Get the landing from maybe like the passenger's perspective. I will rate your landing indeed, yeah. I'll do that once I get out of here. Let's get parked up. Yeah, it's almost like the altimeter was off then by like 10 feet. It was like 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 bang. And it's like, oh, you normally get at least a second or two before the... Yeah, I was expecting a 5, but literally it was just like... I don't know. I think maybe it's the fact that it's an A320 cockpit in a plane that is essentially much bigger than it. No worries indeed. Take it easy. Thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate seeing you. Always good to see you. Appreciate the support. But yeah, we made it. I appreciate it, Crusader. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for being here. I do appreciate it. That was a cool flight. I always like flying this plane. I do feel like when it says 10, that is basically like the ground. So I need to be more mindful of that next time. 20 is basically 10, I think. I think that's maybe just a shortcoming of the aircraft. It's free. We can't complain. Can't complain at all. No Discord yet. No Discord yet. But yeah. I think that's probably going to be the last stream for the week, unless I can get a bonus stream in over the weekend, which I can't guarantee. Not sure where we're going to go on Monday either. So many questions. Leave a comment like in whatever video you fancy. I'll see it. If you've got any suggestions on where to go. Maybe Madeira. That one's been on the cards for a little while. Maybe we'll do that. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me. Always appreciate it. And you all have a good rest of the week, good weekend, and hopefully I'll see you on Monday, bright and early. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.